What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Structure. I'm your host, H, joined by my co host, E, and
What
we
up? What
break
up?
down your favorite movies, TV shows, and documentaries.
That's right. Today we're doing The Boys episodes 1 through 3. H, this might be the best series of this year, but we'll find out. Let's get unstructured.
Let's go. The boys are back, and so are we with a new season of
That's
The
right.
Boys. They came in with 3 magnificent episodes. But before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to shout out YouTuber The Cowboy, and now your mama knows is his channel. Thank you so much for the support.
What's up?
Guys,
What's up?
check out his channel. He's a master of blogging. He blogs about everything from gaming, food, you name it. Go check him out. Really great guy, really entertaining
Much
content.
love.
So much love to him. So going back to the task at hand here. So the boys is back. So just to recap, last season ended with Stormfront being defeated by the boys and Butcher and the guys, right? So once she's defeated, Starlight's in a good position. The boys are in good position. Hugh is in a good position, except for Homelander. Homelander's out of place.
Yeah.
He's experiencing his lowest low. This is the guy that's the most powerful guy in the world, right?
Mhm.
And we bring him back to this new season, which is gonna have 8 episodes. Amazon dropped 3 today, and we're gonna have the next 5 weeks to enjoy
Let's
the
be
rest of
clear.
the season.
They dropped 3 bombs. Go ahead, H.
They are not playing around. And let's talk about that strategy, because we noticed they did the same thing when a show that we reviewed earlier in the year dropped, The Wheel of Time. That's right.
Yes.
So The Wheel of Time dropped with 3 episodes, just the same, and that
Yep.
really hooks you in.
They-
Because I didn't realize when I started watching there was 3 episodes. So I watched episode 1, and as it's ending, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait till next week. Boom, next episode. Oh, that's great. They started with 2 episodes, and then episode 2 ends. I can't wait for next week. One more episode. But then
Bang.
again, they're on season 4.
It's like going to Costco and getting more than just a sample. You get the full meal, and they're like, they'll be back. Hold that.
No, certainly, but yeah, I mean, I that was a treat today. I was not expecting 3 episodes. I
No.
should have looked, but I didn't. But I'm very happy because it was a nice surprise to start the weekend off right. So,
Yes.
what happened in this new season? We have a lot of the dynamic that's being talked about is gonna be about power. Who holds the power over someone else? From what I can tell, in this first 3 episodes. First, we have the power of being popular, and that dynamic is shown with how well Starlight is being treated opposed to Homelander. If you take a look, like, she's pretty much untouchable in the first few episodes, a couple of episodes here, because she has a very high approval rating, so she can basically do whatever she wants. Then we also have power of having money and being powerful in politics, and that's gonna be shown with the government and the bureau. That's gonna be shown with Edgar,
Yep.
the owner of, or the leader of VOD, because we see him order Homelander around and just pretty much orchestrate anything he wants, to the point that he talks any way he wants to the president of the United States in that particular universe.
Yeah.
So we have those dynamic at play. We also have the dynamic of power between superheroes. We have Homelander. Once he's unleashed, right? He's basically, I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want. Even in his head, he knows he's like a god. Nobody can really touch him. When he stands up to Starlight and tells her, "Well, you released a video about the plane, right?
Yep.
What are you gonna do?" He's gonna ruin everything. I'm gonna lose everything, but then I have nothing to lose. When he says that, you see his face. And kudos to the performance by this guy, because he's just killing it. He really makes you believe this guy is so twisted and evil and crazy. It's so delusional, right? And he delivers that to his performance. Great performances on that.
Oh man, I mean, can we talk a quick second about the performances, one, and also the storyline plus the graphics? You're talking about a perfect storm in this situation where everything is at an elite level. I mean, if it was just the visuals alone, it'll be captivating. If it was the fact that it was just superheroes, it'll be captivating. But it's also the storyline that they blend in with it, which is just so dynamic, and it touches all bases. It has something in there that offends everybody, and it's
Equally,
just great.
equally.
Yeah, equally. Yeah, equally. It's just great. They got a masterpiece here.
No, certainly. And then just to mention one more thing here, we also have the dynamic of power with technology. We have the V-24 now that Butcher is using, and now
Equalizer.
he's kind of corrupting him in a way. So now
Yeah,
he's taking advantage of power, and then A-Train losing his power. Right
yeah.
now, he doesn't have a place in the world. He's trying to find where he fits because he was
His
so
identity.
rely on his power. Now that he's losing it, and he's losing it little by little. So
Yep.
we see all these different dynamics um, playing out in the show, and it's just this is what makes this show interesting because it's not a regular superhero show. And
No,
I
it's
know
not.
I said this about other shows in the past, but more so in this one because it's not a normal superhero story.
It's heavily
They-
based in reality, and
yes,
I think it's the fact that they built this series with the idea that it's reality first, and then they bring in the superheroes as opposed to the other way around in some of the shows where it's like superheroes and then we'll add some reality stuff, some realistic stuff to it. This is heavily grounded in reality, and you can see that because you have these different agencies and these different feelings from the public and whatnot. They're all commingling and working together or against each other for that. So it's just amazing. It's a masterpiece. I think they upped their game this season. I think they totally blew it out the water this season, even though the other two seasons were great. So there's a lot of things going on. I like most the fact, like you said, we're starting off. We have everybody is where they wanted to be, or even beyond where they wanted to be, except for Homelander. Homelander is upset because he's not used to being a bad guy. His whole life, he's been the good guy, and he loves that attention. He loves the fame, and he loves to be loved. You take, for instance, the scene at the hospital where he's visiting his girlfriend, who's pretty
crazy
much
stuff.
mangled into pieces. She's missing a limb. Her face is melted on one side. She's missing an eye. She can't walk. She could barely talk. But he needs her to make him feel good. I mean, how big is your ego? Does your ego have to be in that situation where you go to the hospital to visit somebody to feel good? And in more ways than one too, because we found out that her good arm
In
works
more
really
ways than one. I think this man is crazy.
Yeah.
So he just goes, okay, let me just do. Oh yeah, and then I don't think he finished either.
No,
Crazy.
no, I don't think so either. And it's funny because you take that scene in episode 1 and then you go to, I think it's episode 3, where they're talking about the public's reaction to his tantrum and his tirade, really. And then he gets a stiffy. Like, now we know what really turns him on. It's
Yeah.
It's
And this is why this show is so good. Because you bring those elements of a crazed out Superman, right? Because that's basically
Yep.
what he is. He's
Uh-huh.
what I mean. Let's face it. This is what a lot of people would. This is what would happen in reality if you had a guy with so much power that it wouldn't be so benevolent. Everybody's telling you how great you are, and you're so much powerful than everybody else around
Yeah.
you. This person will go to their head. It will go nuts, right? They feel like they would deserve everything in the world. This is why we watch this show, because we don't want to just watch everybody just be happy and it's all kumbaya. The
No.
conflict, those moments, like when the lady at the orphanage is talking about the kids with superpowers, that and Huey lies like, yeah, Starlight and I are looking to adopt,
Yeah.
and she goes, yeah, oh, you know what, that raises the chances of the parents surviving with having a superpower parent, because that could happen.
That's
These kids
funny.
don't know how to control their powers, and if they
Yeah.
were to grow up, or as they're growing up, they could literally kill somebody.
Yeah.
And this is what we see. That's that reality. The funny scene when the show opens, when we have the boys pursuing this man that can turn tiny.
Termite. The termite.
The
The
termite, yeah, and termite.
Termites could be so much of an issue. They get into
my
everything.
God, dude, this
Oh,
guy
yeah,
goes
bro.
into this guy's thing and he sneezes. Oh
Uh,
Jesus,
yeah, I
it's
mean, you talk
crazy.
about getting blown to
Who thinks
bits,
about that stuff?
getting blown to pieces. That the termite is an invader. It's an invasive species for sure, and it just
Definitely invasive.
yeah, seriously. I mean, the dude was trying to go up the guy's ass. I can't say it any other way. That's
Well,
just
you
madness.
But you know who uses that as an opportunity to negotiate? That's going to be Victoria Newman, who we, as the audience, know she's the head puppet from last season,
Hmm.
the mysterious power person that could blow people's heads up, right?
Yep.
And now she's in a position of power running the bureau, and
Hmm.
she's also has a secret. She's technically the daughter of Edgar, right?
Yep.
So not just she's the daughter of Edgar, she's pretending to be a good person, leading leading her own bureau, and Huey feels empowered because he now. One thing we realize about Huey in the show is that Huey loses his girl at the beginning of the show, right?
Yeah.
To a train just running through her. He hates superpower, but he relied heavily on Butcher at that point.
Uh
Then he
huh.
gets into a relationship with Starlight, and Starlight is a strong one. She's the one saving him essentially
Yeah.
all the time. And he finally feels like he's doing the right thing the right way. He doesn't need anybody. Just to realize that the person that he counted so much on is another power person that's just basically lying to him. So how do we stop this person, which completely breaks him in the show?
Yeah.
So we see
I
the
mean,
cracks spilling out into his relationship with Starlight because now he's feeling insecure about the relationship as well.
we could break it down even further because you see, he's being lied to by Victoria, but Victoria is just an extension of the Edgar, really, and
Yeah,
his because she is his daughter, and so therefore she's like a secret plant. I said that before of the agency,
the
and they're
plant.
controlling. Yeah, they're controlling everything. Including the superheroes, including the public, including the president. So he Edgar essentially runs the world, and you can see that in the first episode when he's talking to some other agent, and he's basically saying, you know, I want to be out of the superhero business, and in the next 5 years, and we got something better going on. He's reimagining his power grab. So initially, they started the superhero program in order for him to gain power, in order for him to control the world. But it's backfired because, like he said, they've made the superheroes heroes when
They're like
they were
babies.
just yeah,
He said it that he created now the V24 in order for him to go legit. Just be a pharmaceutical company that works with the military as well. So they have people with superpowers that only last 24 hours. Although that we know now the formula is not perfected and has some serious side effects that we saw that
seriously,
later on the show, right?
yeah,
So he's trying to leave the game. So he doesn't want to babysit these people because he know they're unstable. Look at Homelander. Homelander is
yeah,
the biggest baby. And you know, you're switching the gears towards Homelander. Yeah, they Homelander by episode 3 is completely unleashed because this
totally
guy
unleashed.
he felt like he was so kicked around, and when he's in that roof scene, trying to save that girl, pretending on his birthday, right? And he realizes that the
That's it.
Stormfront committed suicide.
Yeah,
He was nuts.
that's
He
when
was
that's when he's. It's funny because the girl was the one on the edge, but he was the one that was actually pushed over the edge, even though she was too. Uh, and where, like you said, he didn't care anymore, and it sort of disillusioned him with being controlled by the reins of the V Factory, right? So they that's when he makes up his mind, I believe, to regain power. And it's sort of like I think again, you see
he
this.
broke. I don't even think he made up his mind. He just mentally broke. He said,
Yeah,
"You know what? I don't care about anything else. I am so much better than all these people. I am done with this stuff. I am done with this BS. I'm just gonna do whatever I want, whenever I want." And that's when he breaks down into the TV show, right? When
yeah.
he wanted Starlight to say something that
He wanted Starlight to
to
demean
to
herself
yeah to
in front of
sexualize
him.
herself because
Yeah,
he likes to humiliate people. We see how he treated the deep in the whole season or the whole 3 episodes, right?
yeah.
And when he goes in, he just says what he's on his mind to all those people. Instead of being hated, he literally, to reflect our reality, he becomes a symbol to people that feel the government is trying to control them, to people that feel there's secret societies, to people that are afraid, right? So he becomes that big beacon of light, giving him popularity back, thus giving him more power, and he's now
More power to
unleashed.
Starlight. Yeah.
When Starlight tries to say, you know what, like I mentioned before, I'm gonna reveal your video that's gonna show who you are. Go ahead and do it, because I'll dissect first the president. Then I'm gonna go and take out the internet. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I mean, when you have a guy with nothing to lose that is willing to go to those lengths, there's nothing you can really do to stop him.
And I think it's a, to touch on a different point. Uh, I think it's very volatile, very dangerous, and I think they're pointing it out that when you follow ratings, the pendulum swings. So you had Starlight, who was on top. She had a 96 rating, and now in the V Factory, they love her, and you know she can do no wrong. But all of a sudden, you have Homelander, and he gets a 98, and now Homelander is back on top, right? This is the way society moves. Whoever has the most views, whoever has the most clout for that day, let alone that week, their guy, and they can do no wrong. There has to be some type of standard, because what you're seeing is a sway of power. Power is just they're just giving power to whoever is hot for that moment, and they're not advancing their agenda, which is problematic, I believe.
And it's not all doom and gloom, right? It's not like, Homelander being the strongest guy in the world at this particular moment is unstoppable, because the boys have a plan, or at least they believe they do. Because we see that there is something that happened in the past with a different hero called Soldier Boy, totally based of Captain America, complete rip of Captain America, same armor, same everything, great stuff. But we see that Butcher finds out that there might be an opportunity to get a weapon that can annihilate Homelander. He is willing to even try to go to Russia to get it. But this is something that we're seeing a turn in Butcher. Butcher is going from this guy that has a complete vendetta against Soups, which he still does, but his character is changing, and he's willing to go to really to extreme lengths and even become the thing he hates the most, and that's a Soup. We see how he used the V24 to stop gunpowder and completely unnecessarily annihilate him. He went to such lengths to do the same thing Homelander would do, in the same manner Homelander would do it. If you realize the parallel, he did the same thing Homelander would have done. Is he becoming Homelander? That's my question for you.
Yeah, that's a good question, and they're painting a picture that asks, what would you do if you had those powers? Are they, we demonize different types of people within our society, and now the latest thing in this in universe is to demonize the superheroes. Are they as bad as we make them out to be? Because you see that he now has power, and he's doing the same thing as these other superheroes would do. Billy is. So is he? Are the superheroes that bad, or are they misunderstood, or do we need to control them more? And that's the sort of that's a complex issue that I think they're painting with that situation. I mean, Billy went ham on dude. He didn't want just to answer. He wanted to mush his skull in, and that's pretty much what he did.
Sliced him in half.
Sliced him in half. It was madness. But what is Billy going to do next? Because he still has that power. He still has that anger.
He can't control it. He can't control it. Mm-hmm. And I do believe this plays into him pushing the kid away, Ryan, right?
Yeah,
telling him
it was hard. That was hard to watch. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, this show gives you those moments that you're watching the show and it makes you uncomfortable sometimes, but it's reality, and it brings you in and it makes you feel something. And those are some of the best shows. This is why I like the show so much.
H, got a question for you. What are your thoughts on the weapon that they're searching for that's supposed to be able to kill Homelander? Does it really exist?
I don't, you know, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that over. We're bringing that in. So I don't think it exists because I think we're gonna see that Soldier Boy is still alive. Because even on that flashback that we had when Grace was telling the story, I didn't see him being eliminated. So I don't know if they had really have a weapon that can kill a soup in that manner. More like they may have something that can maybe neutralize him, or to an extent, maybe Soldier Boy had cut a deal with the Russians to go to Russia and become
That's
their hero
that's highly likely, and now we have a new enemy that we all can unite against.
against. Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, that's plausible, but they haven't done anything traditional in this series, so probably not. I mean, but I think he might
before we
still be alive. Go ahead.
yeah, before we go any further, right? Let's talk about the gore in this show. There's so many explosions,
Oh my gosh.
people's heads being blown, body parts, uh, butts being
Yeah.
blown up, middle
Sexual content
sections, so much
is
blood.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Jesus.
amazing how they do these sexual content scenes because
And what about the
you do
squids?
anything.
I mean, the
Oh my
octopus.
gosh. Yeah, that dude has serious issues.
You
The
know, he
deep
did something
serious.
very messed up at the beginning of the show, right? With
Yeah.
Mouth, doing something to Starlight, and
Uh,
he's paid dearly in the show. And how I don't know, I don't know you, but I feel very uncomfortable watching the deep eat the squid.
his friend.
He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
squid. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh Jesus. Oh man.
Yeah. That was funny and interesting to watch. I mean, because the question for me at that time was, how far are you willing to go to get this? Yeah, are you willing to kill your friend in order to get back in the seven to get the power? And the answer was yes. Will you sell your soul? Yes, he'll do anything. Look at the propaganda that he's putting out on these channels, where he's showing that he was, tricked and by the church, first reformed by the church and then tricked by the church and whatnot. Like it's just constant propaganda, constant selling your soul just to get back onto the seven. And now he's finally on the seven, and now he has to kowtow to Homelander, which I
Homelander.
think that was which I think he strategically did that because Homelander will have another ally on the seven.
And the reason why Hollander brings him in is because he knows he can control him, do whatever he wants. Because Starlight is bringing her ex boyfriend who's trying to move in on her, right?
Mhm.
Huey has to watch out because he's now has to contend and deal with Homelander and the Supersonic, the ex boyfriend of Starlight.
Yeah.
Talking about side characters, what are your thoughts on A Train? We talk about that he's losing his power little by little, so that he's dealing with his power dynamic. He's losing power and finding his place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think this, like I said, they touch on a lot of social issues in the series, let alone these first 3 episodes. I mean, I think they check all of the boxes, and this is one of them. You have a single black star within the superhero realm.
Oh, there's
That,
two.
who's the
There's
other one?
Black Noir. He just
Oh,
never
yeah,
takes the mask off.
yeah, and he doesn't talk either. So I don't know if he's going to be a spokesperson.
Well, he did talk. He did talk at one point, and Edgar
Yeah,
told, "Hey, don't take your
not
mask off."
anymore. Yeah.
He did, and you guess what happens? Yeah, golly, golly.
But what you call it? And black noir, like noir is French for Spanish, so is it black? Is that what's going on? But anyway, so you have A Train, and he's reluctant to speak about black social issues because he's scared of losing his stardom, and that's something that people have to face all the time, and they have to do what's right for him. I mean, I would, in if I were in his situation, because there's issues like in his own neighborhood that he saw that was going on. So, dude, if you want to be a black spokesperson, like he said, because he has the African suit and everything else like that, so on and so forth, and you come from this neighborhood, why not speak out for this neighborhood because there's real issues going on, and you have power, you have connections to do so. So why not do it? But he ultimately is facing an identity crisis because he doesn't know who he is without the speed. So he's relied on his speed his entire life, which I think goes
He's
to
losing.
yeah, no, it's he's insecure, which is why he utilized his speed so much because that gave him fame and all this other stuff and blah blah blah, and it was so easy. And now he's finding that he has to be a regular person, a regular citizen, and he doesn't know who or what he wants to be, which is hard.
No, certainly, and man, the stuff that because you can tell this guy is fake. He's not down for anybody's cause. From the
No,
beginning of the show, he's always pandering for everyone. He
exactly.
wants that acceptance,
Ego.
and
Yep.
he knows deep down inside he's not that good, and that's
No.
why he suffers. That's why he's in that particular way. To just skip, let's talk about Mother's Milk. Mother's Milk was somewhat outside of the loop with the boys. He's trying to do
Yep.
better for himself and his daughter, right? He's trying to
Mhm.
get better. And Soldier Boy comes into his life, someone that he has a past with, who we presume he killed his family in some kind of accident, some kind of situation, and we
Did
know
we
how
know that
Soups
he
move.
had mental illness before? Did we know that? Because I think that was a reveal right there.
I think they have mentioned, them have alluded something along those lines, but
Okay.
we know that he's obsessed with finding Soldier Boy, and now that this lands in his lap when he was trying to do so good, and he's been doing pretty good because the whole first couple of episodes he was handling his own
Yeah.
until he hears the name Soldier Boy, and he definitely has to go into action. Then the boys are back together
I really like
and they're heading to
I
Russia.
really like the way that they executed it because you see Mother's Milk, he's trying to be a great dad, and he's managing the whole element of being a divorced parent, and not causing strife, and accepting of his ex-wife's new, I think, husband and all that. He's doing everything perfectly well, and he's recommitted himself to his daughter, which I like because when he made that his speech, and he said that he's going to stay with his daughter and not go out and chase after these guys. I thought that was big, but what I thought was bigger is how his wife gave him the pass after we saw that he was having issues, and he still was trying to manage them, but he couldn't. His wife he did the right thing and dropped his girl off with his mother, or with her mother, and the mother gave him a pass. She said,
She took compassion on him.
yeah, I
I
understand
love that.
you, and I understand that pain that you have for what Soldier Boy did to your family, your entire family. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, and so you have some issues that you need to resolve. Go and do it. So I like the way that it played out, as opposed to Billy, who just has a permanent vendetta and will stop at nothing to get revenge, and finds out that is ultimately problematic and empty. But that's a different story.
Yeah, but Mother's Milk's you know crusade is much more noble in my opinion, though, at least the way he carries it, than that of Billy of Butcher. And I wanted to ask, what do you think? Maeve popped in a couple of times in the show, right? And she's been providing information to Butcher.
Yeah.
Is she working alone? What is a real uh, what is a real intent with providing information to the boys?
Oh, I think her real intent is to be safe from Homelander. Homelander is a walking, talking nuclear bomb that nobody can turn off. Uh, he Nobody really has control, especially after this third episode of him. And not only do they not have control, but they're sort of rooting him on. Void is rooting him on because he has high ratings now. This is great all of a sudden. So he's a ticking time bomb, so to speak. And I think Maeve is trying to get rid of that. And I think she believes that the world would be a better place without him. I mean, look at all the things that he did before it came to light that his girlfriend was a Nazi, right? And now he has
Yeah.
to. I mean, look at all the other stuff, and he's got to go. They just don't know how to get rid of him because he has the best powers. So
He has all the powers essentially. Like this guy,
yeah.
it's a Superman.
Hmm.
He's literally Superman.
Yep.
Now, there was so many storylines going on in the episode. There's something going on with Frenchie, and with the
Ex-wife.
Russian mob.
Yeah,
There's
that's their
something going.
connection. Yeah,
There's so many interlaced storylines in the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Kimiko as well. Kimiko,
She speaks. Oh, how can we
she
not mention
at,
that? I forgot.
at least
We heard
at
her
least no, she
voice.
didn't speak. That was in her head.
It was in her head, but she spoke nonetheless. Even
Beautifully.
though
She
it
sung.
was, yeah,
She's
yeah,
and
I was like, that's an amazing voice. I was like, hold on, wait, she's not supposed to be speaking. What's going on here? And then it was a dream. Yeah, go ahead.
and then when they were in that theme park, when she saw the family together, the two twins or the two sisters together, and then
Hmm.
she sees that her actions or what they were doing causes that those kids' childhood is pretty much ruined. Kind of
Yeah,
made her afraid of her powers.
yeah.
She doesn't feel good about having these powers, and that's
Which
that's
is
her
another,
storyline.
yeah, which is
Yeah,
another issue. Parents making their kids feel bad about who they are, yada yada. I mean, they talk on so many things from gun issues to egos, to issues of race, misogyny.
sex,
Yeah,
misogyny, everything. Like they they
yep,
they hit on every single. I mean, they hit so many things, and they did it really well in a funny way, entertaining way. It kept us hooked. Now, to start wrapping things up, let me ask you: how is Huey gonna react? We see at the end of the episode 3, Homelander and Starlight kiss, and Starlight does a callback to when she was a child and when she was made to do something that
yep,
she didn't want to do, she will close a fist, right? And she just willingly kissed him. And now Huey is gonna be dealing with a Homelander that's gonna automatically fall in love with Starlight. It's gonna try to force her to do something she doesn't want. You're gonna have Supersonic that's gonna be the knight in shining armor, and Huey made a huge mistake by essentially sacrificing her and letting her stay in the seven. She goes, I don't think I can do this anymore. I need to move on. And she's like, well, you need to stay because X, Y, and Z, right? We have a plan. This is what we gotta do. You just gotta do it. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes. But whatever it takes is kissing Homelander and maybe falling into the arms of Supersonic. So, do you think he made a mistake there? You think this is gonna have huge repercussions for Huey?
yeah. And to be honest with you, I think you already said it. Where he basically Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen her, where he was willing to sacrifice her for his agenda. And she didn't want to stay next to Homelander because he's a head case,
Unstable. He's
and yeah,
unstable.
and she could die from it. But he said this is for the cause. You gotta do it for the cause. So she's doing it for the cause. So he can't be mad at her, and he needs to get some security and let her do her thing. That's all I got to say about that.
But what a great time watching this show from episode 1, 2, and 3.
Whoa,
And this is pretty much a
watch
spoiler.
it again.
It's a spoiler full video.
Oh,
So if you made it this long, hey, thank you so much for checking us out. But very
if you
important
made it this
question.
long, go back to the beginning and watch it again.
Very important question.
Yeah.
What is your rating for these first 3 episodes?
H, there's no question, undeniably. I'm gonna give it a 10. A 10.
8-10 as well. They're getting
Yes,
8-10. They
undeniably.
killed it. What a great time. This is why we watch the show. This really takes you away from whatever stresses you have. This is a great time at the couch, whatever, however you watch the TV show, right? Man, this makes you excited for what's coming. We just finished reviewing the first half of the season of Better Call Saul, and that was entertaining in a different way.
Oh
Slow
my
and
gosh.
methodical, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
also review Atlanta, funny, shock funny, right? But this
Yeah.
show combines all of it into one. It's just a
Yes.
weird thing.
Yes. It's great. I look forward to next week's episode for
Plus, it
sure.
had Giancarlo Esposito. Oh, Better Call
Oh
Saul
my god.
on this show.
Dude,
And you cannot
that
go
guy.
wrong with a show with Giancarlo
Oh man.
Esposito. Come on.
Yo, I was just watching another movie with him. I forget the name, and from going all the way back to I forget the Brooklyn something or Harlem something, way back in the day, back in the '90s. He's always been such a great actor. And he's when he's in the movie, you need to watch the movie because he just elevates that movie. No question. I've always loved his characters, always loved his acting. He's a great
So
actor.
good. He's so
Yeah.
good. One of my favorites for sure.
Mhm.
And this show has a great cast. Like the
Also,
the character of Homelander is I believe a lot of people can play a superhero, but there's
yep.
very few actors, and when they play a superhero, they nail it. Anthony Starr, oh
Mhm.
my god, he's nailed his character so much. From the way he laughs, his facial expressions, everything he does.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
look at the picture. Look how Homelander laughs, right?
Yeah.
This guy laughs in a way that he's maniacal, evil. He's unstable. You see it on his face and his acts, the way
That's right.
he moves. Even when other characters are talking, watch the facial expressions of Homelander. This guy is nailing that to a
Yep.
T. I hope he doesn't get pigeonholed on that character because he's killing it as a Homelander.
Yeah.
Amazing work by Anthony Starr.
Yeah. Absolutely great. I love it. Deeply entertained. Can't wait for episode 4. Hey, Amazon, you want to go ahead and forward us the full season? I'm okay with that. Just
Why
let
don't
me
you
know.
guys do that? So hook a brother up, Amazon. You guys did it with some YouTubers. Hook
Yeah.
us up.
Yeah, for real. For real. But listen, come back again. If you like what you heard, come back again. We'll be here next week. Until that time, I'm E. This is H, and we are.
On structure.
That's right.